This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Mr. Bruno. You know, anytime we have an all-Canadian matchup in the NHL, we gotta start the show with it. And that's exactly what we have tonight, as the Flames take on the Habs in Montreal. Montreal has been on a heater lately, winning 6 of their last 9 games and recording at least a point in all but one of those, leaving them sitting behind just Tampa and Detroit atop the Atlantic. With 2 divisional games following up this one, the Habs are hoping to take care of business against a Flames team that, well, can't really score at all this season. In fact, the Flames have only 3 players that have scored double-digit goals this season, with Blake Coleman's 13 leading the team, which in comparison would be tied for 4th most goals on the Habs, a team that has 6 players currently sitting with double-digit goals. Perhaps Zane Parekh rejoining the Flames for this road trip could help with scoring. Yeah, we know he's only got 1 point through 11 NHL games this season, but he's coming off a historical World Juniors that saw him take over top spot on the Canadian D-man points leaderboard. Could that be the confidence boost he needs to translate some of that production to the NHL level? But to wrap up this tale of the tape, we would be remiss if we didn't show you this video of Philip Deneau at practice with his kids. Now, I love this bring your kids to practice situation, as long as it's not an Adam LaRoche thing. limit the time. We love kids though, right? It's almost wildcard weekend, baby, so time now for M&M's Game Day. In just 3 days, the playoffs and road to Super Bowl begin. And unlike most years, this playoff picture looks more wide open than ever. Specifically because the absence of one Patrick Mahomes, meaning for Josh Allen, his playoff kryptonite is gone and the window has never been more open for the Bills. In his playoff career, Josh Allen is 0-4 against Mahomes and the Chiefs, but 7-2 against the rest of the AFC field. But it's not just no Mahomes, as no Lamar Jackson and no Joe Burrow means when it comes to great quarterbacks, it's Josh and then not a lot of other guys with experience. In fact, there are 6 quarterbacks in this playoff field looking for the first ever playoff win. However, for Buffalo to get back into the Super Bowl, it's not just on Allen, as they typically go as NFL leading rusher James Cook goes. Buffalo is 3-4 when James Cook is held under 100 rushing yards. Now you'll see that minimum 5 carries there, because in week 18 against the Jets, he only got 2 carries, as Buffalo rested the majority of their starters to get ready for the playoffs. But the strength of this Jags team is their run defense, as Jacksonville became the 3rd team since 2000 to not allow a 75-yard rusher in a game all season, and their 85.6 rushing yards allowed per game is best in the NFL. So this one is strength versus strength, and why Sunday's outcome may rest on the arm of Josh Allen. Well, Chris Brown is back producing the show, the biggest Bills fan you know, so I can't say anything against the Bills, right? It's just gonna be Josh Allen all the way. Super Bowl, baby! You can watch Wildcard Weekend on CTV and TSN, as both networks have you covered with all the games. Saturday is a doubleheader starting with the Rams and Panthers, followed by the Packers and Bears. Then a tripleheader Sunday starting with Bills Jags, then at 4:30 it's Niners Eagles, and Sunday night it's the Chargers and Pats. And then it all concludes Monday night with the Steelers and Texans. And just a reminder, you can win 2 tickets to Super Bowl 60 just by eating some M&Ms. Go to marscontest.ca for all the details. Or if you're watching us on Insta, just click the link below. To the Association and the Red Hot Raps look to keep things rolling tonight in Charlotte. Toronto's coming off a 5-game homestand where they looked very good, going 4-1 in that stretch, with the only loss coming to a depleted Denver squad. Yeah, kinda wish they had that one back. And it was the defense that really carried them during those 5 games, as they had a 107.5 defensive rating in that stretch, good for 4th in the NBA, and held their opponents to just 42.7% shooting from the field, which is good for 2nd in the NBA. But this is just how this team wins games all year. On the defensive end, the defensive rating for the season is 111.8, which is tied for 3rd in the NBA. One thing really working against the Raps tonight, though, is that the lowly Hornets look like a juggernaut when they're head-to-head with Toronto, as they're 2-1 against the Raps this season. And that December 5th game was an absolute beatdown. Looking at the numbers from all 3 games, it's really ugly offensively for Toronto, shooting poorly from the field from 3 and turning it over a ton. The Raps will still be without Jakob Poeltl tonight, who continues to rest that injured back. But in his absence, rookie Colin Murray-Boyles has really emerged, as he's putting up an 8-8 as well as 3.3 assists, 1.3 steals, and 1.8 blocks in his last 4 games. But the stats just tell some of the story. He looks like he belongs on the court in crunch time as a small ball 5. And outside of the defense, which we all kind of knew about coming out of college, it's been the playmaking that's been so spectacular to watch.
Nice job by Atlanta, deep in the shot clock with the counter. Running the floor, Murray-Boyles finds Grady! Grady finds net! And who found him? Colin Murray-Boyles with his 4th assist.
It's just lovely to witness. Thanks to this recent run, the Raps have crept all the way to 4th in the Eastern Conference. But given how much of a logjam the East is, a few losses or a few wins in a row can change all that. as the Raptors are just 2 games behind Boston for the 2 seed, and 2 games the other way from the play-in. You can watch the Raptors and Hornets tonight on TSN at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. That's it for me today. We'll see if we can run 3 Eastern. No Pacific! Have a good one.